Well, first of all, congratulations on winning the best paper of the Congress.
Thank you so much.
News.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so you won the ICO-Allergan Research Fellowship in 2018. What led you to apply, and how did you find the application process?
Well, the application process was quite self-explained on the internet. So the online application is very good, and that actually came many years ago when I was still doing the ICO exam. So I was not planning at that time to apply for this specific fellowship of ECO. I started doing the exam, so the basic and refractive, basic science and clinical, so the tests of ECO I started a long time ago. And then when this research fellowship came, it came on the same moment I was already doing research, so it was one of the requirements. And then I saw, well, that fits exactly what I need, and then I applied online.
And how did it feel to win the fellowship?
Well, that's fantastic. It's fantastic to know that ECO and with support with Allergan could help the development and the research. So for me it was fantastic, and I could develop a lot more. In the first year you don't have research, requires a lot of time. So even if you plan, so your planning also takes longer than you plan. So for research you need time, and time need money. So that helped me a lot to keep going on this direction and to develop more of our research ideas. It's really good.
So this fellowship was started to support groundbreaking research that advances the scientific understanding and clinical management of ophthalmic diseases worldwide. Can you tell us about your research?
Yeah, actually we have, it's a bit hard to speak specific to one because we have more than 50 projects on the same time. What I can say that basically in this meeting now we won the prize of the best paper of the ESCRS 2019. So this was related, so maybe I say about this because this was the one that seems to be the most the people like it more maybe, but we were able to reduce inflammation after some refractive procedures, for example, and this could widen the indications of PRK, for example. But also we work mostly with PRK, with keratoconus and cross-linking. So one of the very important studies that we published last year in British Journal was the prevalence of keratoconus. So keratoconus is a rare disease for many ophthalmologists because this was a study starting in 1932, and so everybody says it's a rare disease because of this study in a specific population of USA. So now we had a statistic from the Middle East and Saudi Arabia saying, and we found there 100 times higher prevalence of keratoconus. So it's 5% at that specific region. So that's one of our most important studies because it's bringing to light the importance of prevalence of keratoconus, and we are widening the project to a global for many countries, global reach. So we will probably soon have a global prevalence of keratoconus. So while we know it's more prevalent and it's not a rare disease, at least in some areas, we have to treat those patients. And to treat those patients, we need cross-linking. So that's the gold standard. So we have worked a lot to improve cross-linking technology, and there is a lot of work on this as well. So how to improve the treatment. And a third important point as well about keratoconus and that we have been investigating is the effect of eye rubbing. So eye rubbing is a risk factor, is a known risk factor of keratoconus for progression of keratoconus, and maybe and possibly to the etiology of keratoconus as well. But we don't have any evidence, direct evidence that eye rubbing would cause for sure keratoconus. So we were working on this. We developed a device that would mimic this, and this took almost 2 years to develop this device. Now it's ready, and we are starting to check how eye rubbing works on the etiology of keratoconus. So this is we are very looking forward to this.
That's great. So where did your fellowship take you in your research?
So take me to many places actually. When I applied, I was already in Zurich, Switzerland, but it gave me the opportunity to stay longer in Zurich. And not only in Zurich, because with the fellowship I had the opportunity to travel to many conferences and to present our work, and that's very important. The feedback we receive teach us a lot, so it took me for a lot of places.
And what were your aims and objectives at the start, and do you feel that you've met those? Or is it just an ongoing process?
It's an ongoing process, but when I was trained before as a surgeon, and research also is very important because we can understand a lot how the things work. So this give us many answers. So this is an ongoing process, and I'm learning a lot for sure. And we'll learn from this experience probably forever, so it's a great experience.
And what advice would you give to next year's applicants or those looking to apply for other fellowships?
Yeah, I would say that's a great opportunity that ICO is providing, and I would just emphasize that my experience was fantastic, and would support the application, because this really might be a game changer for
Do you think it's particular types of research that will tend to earn fellowship funding? Is it if it's a rare condition?
I believe the translational research has probably greater chances because it is actually a basic research, but on the same time we can apply the research clinically. So this is very important, I believe. And when we can transfer this knowledge, as we say, from bench to bedside, like that has really an impact in the population. And I didn't mention before, but we are working as well with cross-linking for infectious keratitis. So in laboratory we see how we can improve technology, and this in low-income countries, for example, can bring us a lot of impact for treatment and prognosis of the patient. So that's great. That's the translational research. I think it's very promising.